multiple countries are pushing for a ceasefire across the Israel-Lebanon border to halt the missile attacks that have claimed more than 600 lives in 3 days. The proposal was put forward in the United Nations Security Council by the United States and France, and it's been endorsed by many countries, including several Arab states. It calls for a 21-day ceasefire to allow civilians to return to their homes on both sides of the border. U.S. President Joe Biden said the de-escalation between Israel and the militant group Hezbollah was critical.
As you can see, we put out a statement for 21-day ceasefire along the Israeli-Lebanese border. We able to generate significant support from Europe as well as the Arab nations. Important this war not widen. I'll have more to say about it tomorrow.
While efforts to secure CEA's fire continue, Israel's army chief has put troops on alert for a possible ground invasion into Lebanon. Israel has been pounding Lebanon with airstrike since Monday, killing hundreds and forcing tens of thousands to flee their homes. Hezbollah militants also launched their deepest strike into Israel yet, targeting the headquarters of Israel's intelligence agency Mossad near Tel Aviv. Israel says that missile
Well, we saw this morning that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his wife left Israel to attend the UN's General Assembly in New York, so I think it's unlikely that we will see the launch of a ground invasion while he's away. That being said, yesterday we saw the IDF's Chief of Staff had Halley visit troops at the northern border, and he said to them, quote, "You hear the jets overhead? We have been striking all day. This is both to prepare the ground for your possible entry and to continue degrading Hezbollah." And he later said to them, "Prepare yourselves." And we also saw yesterday that the IDF mobilized 2 reserve brigades, so we're seeing a lot of preparation for a possible grand invasion. That being said, there has not been any confirmation whatsoever that this will actually happen. And you also need to remember here that a ground invasion is easier said than done. Maybe it is military experts in Israel have been saying that it will be much more dangerous, it will be much more risky, it will lead to a higher death toll among Israeli soldiers likely, and of course the question remains whether support for such a grand operation in light of the high number of fatalities will continue. But also there are questions over how successful a grand operation can be.
Now multiple countries are calling for a ceasefire across the Israel-Lebanon border. Is that expected to make any difference?
Well, it would certainly give both sides a moment of respite. In Lebanon alone, over 500,000 people have been displaced. Over 500 people have been killed, among them women and children. In Israel, over 70,000 residents now for a year now have not been able to return to their homes in the north. Yesterday we saw Hezbollah launch a ballistic missile onto Tel Aviv for the first time, showing Israel essentially that it is able to still launch rockets very deep inside of Israel. So over the last few days, we've really seen an escalation of the fighting between the two sides, which is, of course, what has so many countries around the world also worried about a further escalation. And that's where this ceasefire deal proposal comes in. The idea behind this is that it will give both sides time to find a diplomatic resolution on this conflict. That being said, we're already seeing responses from Israeli politics in Israel. Israel's finance minister Bezalel Smotrich has spoken out against the proposal, and opposition leader Yeld has also said that he supports the deal, but only for 7 days in order for not allow Hezbollah to rehabilitate its command and control systems. And also, we're hearing from communities in the north that people have been mentally preparing for a grand invasion, and they see it as a loss of momentum if it didn't happen, so a lot of pressure, also inside of Israel, to keep up the momentum.
Well, Israel says its operation in Lebanon is aimed at allowing tens of thousands of residents to return to border towns evacuated due to Hezbollah missile strikes. Meanwhile, Lebanon's foreign minister says 500,000 residents have been displaced there since the regional conflict escalated almost a year ago. Many have fled in recent days and are creating a refugee crisis within Lebanon's own borders.
Gridlock as people flee southern Lebanon to escape the dozens of airstrikes that have hammered the area heading north, where many have ended up sleeping in parks and schools like here in the city of Sidon. Evacuees say they've just escaped. Hell, the situation was tough. The roads were blocked and airstrikes landed in front of us every time we tried to move. Finally, around 6 p.m. a car took us, and we got here at dawn.
We are in a crist, economic crist, financial crist, health a crist. We have nothing. War plus war, it's beyond our expectation, beyond our I didn't expect that war. People left there, villages left there, homes. No word can explain this situation.
Lebanon is a tiny country bordering Israel and Syria. It covers just 10,000 square kilometers and has a population of 5.5 million people. The airstrikes have targeted areas under Hezbollah control in the south, driving people to the cities of Sidon, the capital, Beirut and Tripoli. Despite airstrikes there as well and over the Syrian border, the country is still recovering from a massive explosion in 2020 that flattened much of Beirut's harbor area, helping spark a currency crisis. In addition, Iran has long meddled in Lebanese politics, stoking religious tensions and backing Hezbollah. The militant group has been launching missiles at Israel since Hamas's terror attack of October 7 last year, saying it supports Hamas and the Palestinians. Lebanon also took in an estimated 1 million Syrian refugees in the past decade, many of whom have now been uprooted again. Now Syria says hundreds have crossed over to its side of the border as it prepares to receive more people. Thanks for watching this video.